Hello everyone. Welcome to the webinar about AI engineer role, its market context and technical definition. You saw the poll right at the beginning when you entered Zoom. Oh, I see that you're writing a lot of messages. This is great. About this poll, you will see a list of questions. You probably already saw them. So please feel free to choose the one that feels most relevant for you because this is very important for us to understand what is your goal to learn with us, to join this webinar. So this is something that can shape our future sessions. So please feel free to choose the question that works the best for you. Okay, let's now move to the webinar itself. So first I want to introduce myself. My name is Ksenia, but you can call me Kay because I know that these two sounds are very hard to pronounce, and feel free to call me Kay. I'm a product manager at Hyperskill Bootcamps. I've been working in EdTech for like 5 years, and currently we're building an AI engineering bootcamp. This is actually a program which is like a next step for software development role. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat so we can get more familiar with each other. I see that you're being active, so tell us more about you. Also today we have our bootcamp instructor, Nikolina. She's an expert in AI engineering and she will help us today with questions. So feel free to ask all the questions in the world regarding AI engineering during the whole session. You can use chat for that. I think that you have this option available. We will try to answer them during this session. Also, if you have any questions right at the end of the webinar, we will have a small dedicated part, Q&A session part, where you can ask your questions after what you've heard. So let's move on. Sorry, it's not. Yeah, okay, nice. Let's move on. I will tell you in brief what we are doing today. So you might see that the term AI engineer appears everywhere right now in job boards, in job descriptions of your company, somewhere else, like in the courses, career discussions on Reddit, and somewhere else. So this means actually very different things in terms of people's understanding of this role. It depends if we speak about AI engineers, the concept, the hiring position. It is very much depends on the company that is looking for these people, and it sometimes, I would say often, it leads to a confusion and inconsistency of in understanding the role. In some organizations, AI engineer is used confusingly with ML engineer roles, and in others, it can be closer to prompt engineering or prototyping. So even in some cases, companies are still figuring out what they actually need, so they can just call a software engineer and an AI engineer, and that's it. The goal of today's session is to align on what applied AI engineering really means in the current market, how it differs from nearby roles, and why this distinction is relevant and actually safe for software developers that are concerned about their future perspectives. We'll also talk about what AI engineers do in practice, what their technical scope looks like, and why this path makes sense for experienced developers today. Let's take a look at the hiring data. So you can see that, just a second, sorry. I'm still confusing this Zoom interface, At the very beginning, let's just look at the market data, as I said. When we look at it, So you can probably see, and the green color is actually highlighted. You can see that there is some kind of a job growth, and it's not like some kind, it's actually number one fastest growing role according to LinkedIn data from the previous year. And also you can see that these postings increased a lot since 2020. Of course, a lot of things happened since 2020. We had COVID, which influenced the industry a lot. We had a lot of other things which influenced the industry a lot, but still, the data shows that it's very rapidly growing. At the same time, hiring for mid-level and senior engineers has declined. It's not like a very significant number. It's around 15%, according to the data for the last 3 years. But yeah, I would say that it doesn't mean that the industry is dying. Of course not. It's not dying. This just means that the market is shifting. So there are some trends that show us signs on what is happening. If you're familiar with Java, for example, it's slightly declining from year to year. So, but still, there are some systems that work on it, and a lot of companies work with it. But you can see that it is changing. And of course, yeah, looking at compensation, you can see that there is a growth of salary expectations and real numbers that AI engineers get with this role. And you can see that in the US market, it has pretty pleasant numbers in terms of salary expectations. And in major tech companies, it's like facing the ceiling. They pay you guys, if you want to become AI engineer, a lot of money. And yes, and actually, one more point. It's about support and motivation. I mean that if you take a look at what organizations expect from the candidates, they are really fond of AI engineers in terms of shortage of applied AI engineering skills. So this position is. Um, it's kind of limited. So this knowledge is kind of limited in terms of hiring market. So there's still a big gap between companies that want to hire these people and actual amount of people who are in this role. So the conversion to job offers is pretty high compared to regular software development positions. Actually, before that, I would also wanted to highlight where we at the market, because it will help us understand the AI engineer role, like the big picture, because the market is a bit different from what was 3 years ago. You can see here a diagram. What we wanted to show it here is that 3 years ago, around 3 years ago, the market exploded with AI-based ideas, and companies rushed to adopt the technology, and the AI engineer role emerged, though no one really understood what it means. And these engineers were constantly confused with ML engineers or prompt engineers. And at the same point, costs of the companies went up, but efficiency didn't, because they were like, okay, we have a mission critical to implement AI features, but we don't really know what we want to do. So there were no standards or any stable patterns. But then came a transitional phase, so people got smarter. Companies figured out what AI features they actually needed, and they started to ask themselves questions like why. And more importantly for us in terms of AI engineering market, what kind of engineers they needed to build them. I mean the features. And actually now we are entering a specific phase. This means that around the end of 2025 and now, when it's 2026, companies are asking themselves why, and it's like an exception if they don't do this. And they want AI in their processes or products, not everywhere, just where it is applied most perfectly. And they mostly understand what AI can do and cannot do. So they also learned how it can contribute to business processes and what kind of employees they need. So the market has matured. So we're talking mainly about early majority companies here because, of course, still we have some laggards. So there are some companies that hadn't adopted this yet, but it's just a matter of time when they do it, especially if we're talking about tech-based companies. And the key point is that we finished this pure experimentation phase. It's mostly over. We now have like some standardized knowledge about AI engineering, at least in the hiring context. Of course, there is still confusion about the role itself, and we will address it. And still, the market knows what it's looking for. So we will go to the first point of confusion. This is actually not a role, but an approach to this role, to the role, not to this role, but to the role in general, to the role of software development. Here we were talking about AI-assisted software development. You probably heard this term as AI-powered software development, or maybe AI-native software development, or simply vibe coding. So it has different terms. And we need to understand here that this is one of the most common points of confusion because this is a part of a skill set of a modern software developer. Definition of this term actually lies in using AI tools such as Copilot, Cursor, ChatGPT, or maybe Claude Code to assist in writing traditional software. So it means that AI acts as a productivity tool for the developer. So you use these tools just to perform the actions that you already have performed before. So I would highlight once again that this is an extremely important skill and it is a baseline of a modern software developer. Most developers will use AI-assisted tools in the future, and it will become standard, like the usage of IDE, for example. And still, it doesn't define a software developer as an AI engineer. And it's still essential to learn these skills. And this is something that you can also do in Hyperskill. I see the question. So yeah, it is something that you can do with the help of Hyperskill. You can find these courses there. And already, we already had this kind of knowledge in our AI engineering bootcamp, because this is like, like using IDE, as I told you, it's a part of literacy, and we really need this skill in software development. Okay, so we talked about the approach. Let's talk about the roles. So here you can see the table with the comparison of roles that are commonly confused with AI engineer. Let's look at it in more detail and see which things these roles do and what they don't do. So if we take a look at data scientists, for example, we can see that let's just consider what data scientists do. They focus on understanding data patterns. They use exploratory analysis. They have things like statistical modeling, hypothesis testing, and they actually deliver insights and reports. The main difference here is that data scientists ask what is the data telling us, and they explore and analyze. In in the same at the same moment, AI engineers ask different question. They ask, how do I turn a model's capability into a working product? So basically, they build and deploy it. So they're like, if you see data scientist as a researcher, AI engineer is like an implementer. And some relevant points can be also shared about machine learning engineers and deep learning engineers. So they both focus on training models, and usually these are not LLMs. It is done for single purpose tasks, like, for example, recommendation systems, anomaly detection, or predictive analytics. And they go deep into model internals. They design architectures, tuning hyperparameters. So they do a lot of complex things. And at this point, AI engineers actually treat the model as a component, and they focus on it, on how it fits into a larger system. So yeah, but you know what? In some organizations, especially the ones that are related to robotics or custom model companies, AI engineers may need ML skills. This is kind of specific industry, but for most product and SaaS companies, AI engineers work with existing models via APIs. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that we have a role that is called prompt engineer. And these guys focus on crafting and optimizing individual prompts. They test variations, they use some tool-specific optimization, and it is actually a skill like it can be a separate role, but it is also a skill such as AI assisted software development, and it is a part of AI engineering. So it's not a part of software development, but specifically of AI engineering. And AI engineers need to understand it and understand like usual techniques that needed to be used when you work with prompts. But of course, this is not what defines AI engineer, because AI engineers also architect entire LLM-based solutions. That's what makes it distinctive. Um, okay, and let's just recap what we just learned. What we learned, AI-assisted software development is an approach. This is not a role. This is how developers work now, and this is an important skill for everyone. And yes, you can learn this on Hyperskill. Data scientists understand and model data. ML, deep learning engineers, they train models and work with deterministic AI systems. Prompt engineers, on the other hand, optimize one component, prompts, and it can be considered as part of AI engineering role, but not like the whole part. So none of these are AI engineers in whole, and though there's overlap in skills, this is something different. So you could hear it's a logical question. So who is an AI engineer? Let's try to answer this question by focusing on what these guys do. We now know they don't do things that we discussed before. And let's look at this example. This is actually a good scheme that represents agents, but keep in mind that it isn't the only thing that they work on. The pipeline for building racks, for example, or combinations of both follows similar principles. So what does an AI engineer do? It's a 6-step process, as you see on this slide. First, they design the architecture of AI systems. This simply means that they define system goals, agentic workflow, constraints, and success metrics. You can hear that this is somehow familiar with product management, and it's a bit correct, because AI engineers, as for example, tech leaders, they need to be more product oriented. So they need some kind of a product mindset. So this is basically like answering the question why I'm doing it, how can I do it optimally, and if this the case when I don't need LLMs at all. So these things actually happen, and surprisingly often. So it's important for AI engineer to understand what they're building. Another thing is to integrate LLM APIs into existing product architectures. So AI engineers connect models to applications, data sources, and user-facing features. And then goes the next step. Here they build agentic workflows. This basically means that they create systems that can actually take any action. So this involves orchestrating multi-step reasoning, tool usage, decision flows, something like that. Then we built the system. Okay, what's happening next? And actually, this is a very important step because as we discussed earlier, we entered specific phase where optimization matters. So right now we're optimizing costs. The companies are really interested in it, and this is the topic of discussion of today's discussion inside AI engineering because we need to do some trade-offs. We need to waste less resources on integrating our AI systems. So at this point, what is done? AI engineers measure quality, reliability, and they are getting aligned with business objectives. For example, your, I don't know, manager tells you, okay, you have $100 for that, and you're like, okay, my solution costs $500. So what should I do? So this is like a simplistic example of such thing that you need to consider on this step 4. Then you need to optimize cost. So you understood that it is too expensive. You need to optimize cost and latency at on your working solution at production scale. This actually means that you balance model choice. For example, in some case, you can use a model that is cheaper, and you work with some simple input. In another case, you need to use a model that produces maximum quality. So you make these trade-offs. You make caching and throughput. So here it is very important to understand how the models work under the hood, just to make reliable, good solutions. And finally, AI engineers ensure production reliability by adding guardrails, monitoring, fallbacks, and of course, error handling. And to make this entire process happen, AI engineers need knowledge, need technical knowledge across all these areas. So let's take a look at what they need to learn. You can see that there are six points of how you can like sort the technical demands for this role. Let me just walk you through the core areas. I will try to. You can see it in this order, but I will do it from simpler to more complex. So first of all is prompt engineering, and as we discussed before, this is about structuring prompts for reliable outputs, which is really important. And here you build system prompts, few short examples, chain of thought prompting, and specifying output formats. So this is a conversation with your LLMs. Then goes LLM API integration. So this means that you need to be capable of implementing production-ready API calls with error handling. You should be capable of retrying logic, rate limiting, fallbacks to alternative models, for example, and proper monitoring. Then goes agentic workflows. In this hard skill, it is expected that you can build systems where LLMs make decisions and take actions in this pretty complex process, multi-step process. And this involves also designing agent decision logic, implementing tool usage, and you use function calling, managing state across multiple steps. So this is like an important step of a hard skill. Next goes RAG architecture, so which is also about designing, but designing systems that retrieve relevant information from vector databases and provide it as context to LLMs. So you're choosing embedding models, design chunking strategies, for example, implement retrieval logic, and of course manage context window limits because this can be limited. And 2 points that we already discussed before as well. So you need to be capable of working with evaluation frameworks, which means that you need to measure system quality to give it to give best accuracy, relevance, to keep in mind that systems hallucinate a lot and you need to detect it on time. Um, and also it is important to build continuous improvement loops where production data refines the models. And the last point about cost and performance optimization. So basically, this is something that you manage after you deployed your feature in production. So you select models, so you balance this cost versus quality, depending on business objectives and the result that you want to achieve. And yes, this is a essential stack for AI engineers in most companies building AI products and services. In most tech-based companies, you might, at this point, you might feel like this is a lot. But let me just first of all tell you that this is actually not a lot. But I will. You may feel overwhelmed. Let me just inspire you a little that there are a lot of good AI engineering projects happening, and you know all these projects. I just wanted to highlight them. This actually helps ground everything because you can see that there are 2 types of projects you can work on. You can work on companies' projects that build AI first products, which means that AI is the core system of the product, and AI engineers, simply put, they refine the core of the system. And you might know Cursor, Claude Code, Replit, all these products are the ones that have AI in the center, the entire value proposition is around this core. And these products wouldn't exist without AI engineering work. Of course, ChatGPT is released, but you can use the information of AI technologies differently. So the guys who knew what to do, they created these products, and this is just amazing. Then you also have mature products that didn't have this kind of AI technologies inside. And you know that probably you know that Notion has its own Notion AI service. And I know that a lot of managers like to use it a lot. And there are such products as Amazon, which of course is very familiar to us, Shopify, and maybe Figma and Miro. All these products, tech-based products, they integrated AI capabilities into existing established products. Of course, there can be debates about the quality of these features, but it's just, again, it's a matter of time when this tool will be improved at the point that it will be like a perfect combination of AI engineering skill set and realization. And yeah, what's exciting about this field is about these projects that as an AI engineer, you can develop the core of these systems, or you can influence customer experience by building new AI projects for these companies, for some giants, or for some local companies, for some startups. So you're like on the front line of innovation. And with the stack that we just covered, you have the tools to create impactful projects and impactful, sorry, and it puts you in a position to shape how people interact with this technology and making it less sloppy because we have a lot of AI slop these days. And yeah, coming back to the stack, actually, what we saw before, we saw how what AI engineers need to learn and where they may work. So let's talk about why should an experienced developer consider this path. So you already have this kind of solid software engineering background because you know how to structure systems. You worked with APIs. You can debug complex behavior and think in terms of production constraints. And you're probably used to imperfect inputs, edge cases, and trade-offs between speed, cost, and quality. So actually, engineering is a like fancy upgrade, so it builds directly on top of these skills. What's more is that it's how you can see from the slide, it's a natural upgrade of your skills. And with this upgrade, you have a higher market value as a specialist. Apart from, of course, like remuneration, so apart from salary expectations, it also increases job security because the market is changing. Of course, as I said, software development isn't dying, but it's just building like a safer space for you as an engineer in these crazy times. So it's like a good protection for your role. And you also have access to a growing field. And your experience, if we take a look, if you remember this data about the market, this is still kind of rare because the number of AI engineers is lower than the number of positions showing on job boards. So there is a big chance to get the job if you have needed tech skills. And what is important for some of us is that you have a direct impact on the product because AI features, they become core to modern systems if they build in keeping in mind that you need to build a meaningful solution, asking yourself why question and what exactly should be done. So yes, in this case, it gives a meaningful impact. Yeah, and the question can be probably no, the answer to the question, but let's just take a look at how to learn this. So there are several paths, pretty universal ones. Each has trade-offs, so you probably know all of them. First of all, this is self-study. So very known technique. This means that you learn through documentation, articles, personal projects, and what's new, AI tutoring. So not just Duolingo, but you can build, for example, custom GPT or some agent as well that will help you learn the concepts. You can add here some self sorry, you can build here the projects that you, for example, that your AI tutor recommends you, or you found them online on Reddit and you decided to repeat this project. This is a really good way. It's flexible, low cost, but the cons is that it requires self-direction, so you have to be very disciplined in this case, and probably you won't get the feedback the way you would get it from the real person. So maybe you can train your agent the way that it will give you very good feedback, but in general, it's it's very subjective and sometimes you need some objective opinion. And yeah, of course, it demands high concentration and effort and high cognitive load. Um, the next point is self-paced tutorials, and it can also be together, can work together with self-studying. And you can find some video courses, so you can find some tutorials, YouTube videos, and these courses are structured and accessible mostly. Some of them can be even free, but quality varies widely, so you need some good sources. And they can lack depth, and also they can still be not very practice oriented, so you can still build personal projects, but yeah, of course, it requires significant concentration and effort. And if you, for example, build a personal project, it doesn't have any feedback on your work. Another very traditional way is academic paths. So you can enroll in some university courses or just full degree programs. And yeah, this is a comprehensive way. It will give you credentials. You will get a diploma. But they mostly they take a long time, and they tend to be theory heavy, which means that the balance is more on the theory side. So probably you won't get the practice on the extent that will help you land the job or impress employee, for example. And sometimes it can be expensive, but still it's it can be considered as one of the options. And intensive programs or boot camps. So this is something that we are building. This is the programs that, in general, these are programs that have projects. The projects are usually aligned with industry demand, so it is practice based. It has some theory there, but mostly it is based on practice. So you need to build the projects, and this will give you practical skills. Sometimes it can take months. Some boot camps offer a weekly schedule, but of course, it then needs more dedication in terms of time during the week. And here you also have live instructors, which means what is more, these instructors have experience in the industry. So this is something that is that can be considered as advantage. The disadvantage, of course, it can be more expensive compared to self-study, self-paced tutorials, and sometimes university courses, if, for example, it is compensated by the government. And it's still, you need to spend some time to study. So each path actually did needs some time to study, so it's it's by default. Um, so naturally, here I can tell you a little bit more about the bootcamp. So the best time to tell you more about it, this is the product we have built. It is grounded in learning principles developed at MIT and Y Combinator School, which means that you basically build one project per week, which is pretty intense. And in whole, it takes around 10 weeks to complete this program. And during this program, you will build at least 10 projects. So sometimes it varies. So, but you can build at least 10, and they could be added to your portfolio. And what is included here, you can see that we have live consultations, which gives you direct access to instructor, such as Nikolina that you have here. You can ask questions there, and sometimes we discuss some extra materials. For example, we have some complex topic to discuss, and of course, on these live consultations, we can talk a little bit more about it. And yeah, and the main thing that you will have this kind of a daily support, which means that you can write questions anytime, and you will get answer within the day. which is very handy if you have some questions about the contents, about the project not working, or something else. And you have code reviews here. So when you make a commit, so we will review your result and help you improve with each new iteration. This is very good. And you can see the stack here. We in our program we tried to focus on industry standards. So the stack we cover includes OpenAI API, Fast API, Docker, Quadrant, and other stuff that you can see that you can read here. I'm just afraid that my tongue will break at some point. So you can see it, and yeah, and other tools. There will be some more tools like Juni, for example, you'll use in production environments. So yes, this is the intensive program that we are building. Um, and before we wrap up, let me just share the offer that we prepared because you guys joined this webinar, listened to me, and asked questions. So we prepared this offer, special offer for webinar attendees. You can just simply scan this QR code. I hope it works, and you will get 20% off if you're not a student. I saw some names. I know that some of you are our students, but if you're not a bootcamp student, you can use this promo code and apply for the AI engineering bootcamp. We have the first one that will start in 13 days. It will be on February 16th. And the next one will start around the end of March. So you can enroll in any of them. You can just we will send you the email after the session with this promo code and with the recording, so you can have a chance to talk with us. And if you use this promo code, sorry, QR code, you can also see the offer and the opportunity to talk with us in WhatsApp. So, yeah, actually, I finished my speech. Let's now take a look at your questions. I see that Nikolina already answered on some of them. So if you still have any of them, let's just, you will have a few extra minutes to write them in chat. So feel free to do it. I'll just look through the questions that you asked before. Yes, yes. We have courses on Hyperscale about AI engineering. You can see the course about it's actually introduction to AI engineering, which will give you like good understanding of the industry, the tools that you'll be using. So it's quite good. You can find it in the as far as I remember, this category is called AI coding tools. Actually, I will try to find it and I can send it to you. And another course is called AI agents, AI agents something. So you can take a look at them. You can enroll in them. I would advise it to do it. Mhm. Okay, I see that Nicolina answered Alexander about the development is moving toward a specification-driven development approach. Okay. Is the bootcamp by Hyperskills free to join? Actually, no. If you follow this QR code, you will see the link to enroll. So it is not free. It is with this promo code, it gives you $1,999 for 10 weeks. If you're already a Hyperskill premium subscriber, annual or semi-annual subscriber, we can also deduct this extra amount from this price. So just feel free to reply to our email when we send you the recording, or just write in WhatsApp. We will calculate depending on your subscription. We will calculate the price, the final price. Yes, yes. I think that I answered already the question from Abdullah about the subscription. Okay. So I see the question from Nikita. Nicolina, maybe you can, I think that you have a chance to maybe say out loud the answer to these questions from Nikita, Alexander, and Fatima.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. Um, Basically to answer the question, like if we have already reached a phase of more than 50% of internet's content being AI generated, greatly hindering the quality of future LLMs since they now have less good material to keep learning from. This is like not true in general because right now, like OpenAI and like Anthropic and all of those corporations, they actually hire people to produce high quality data, and they also focus on something called like basically reinforcement learning, like much more than just like RLHF. You probably have heard of that, like because everyone was talking about it some time ago. It's basically like a way to like make an LLM better if you have some sort of like data where you actually can tell which data is good and which data is bad. So it kind of like shifts from like, oh, we need a lot of data to, oh, we need to have labeled data, which is like good or like bad. So I don't see that like as a huge problem. And the open source issue, uh, basically, like right now you probably have seen like curl and like other like open source libraries, they're implementing policies to like not overflow the contributors and like the maintainers actually with like LLM generated like pull requests. So I feel like it will like go into like policy and probably like changing the open source model. So I don't think it's like an LLM issue. Basically, I believe that everyone will find a way to resolve the like slop in the issues or in the PRs. So I don't think it's like a huge problem. About local models, yeah, it's like it is indeed a great suggestion to like how to use open models. I don't think we have any like local model development at this point. We mostly like focus on the like LLM APIs. So yeah. Can I also voice if for the bootcamp is live classes and the time? If you mean that like will we have like live sessions during the bootcamp, then yes, we will. I'm not sure I understood the question correctly. And do you think as developers we need to learn AI and LLM? Uh, Basically, as much as you're comfortable with. I feel like everyone will start using some sort of like cursor, I don't know, um, cloud code, whatever it is, to just like solve some problems. Um, and probably if you are a software engineer, you have seen people like pushing the usage of LLM tools. So yeah.
Regarding the live sessions, yes, it's actually depending on the bootcamp, on the bootcamp participants, because we have people from different parts of the world. So the time really depends on the cohort. So we try to find the best solution, and sometimes we offer 2 slots because we have people from Canada and from, for example, Vietnam. They will never meet. So that's how we can handle it. So we try to accommodate each time zone. Um, okay, I can also answer the question about the webinar offer a recognized certification. Yes, if you mean the certification, like you receive a certificate where you will have information about what you accomplished, and you can use it in portfolio. If by recognized you mean some kind of institution, then no. So it's like um, a certificate with our brand on it. So it will have a QR code that you can see and you can use and see if this certificate is legitimate. So this kind of thing will be done. So is bootcamp good for beginners? What do you mean by beginners? Do you mean the ones that don't have software development experience? If yes, then unfortunately, our prerequisite is to have some kind of commercial software development experience. Um, it is preferably to have Python in stack, but if you apply early, you will have pre-study materials. So if you, for example, worked with Java or Kotlin or any other language, maybe JavaScript, for example, you will have pre-study materials um, to see the foundations to learn Python syntax. It will be a bit more challenging if you don't know Python, but it's mostly doable. And do only Russians work in hyperscale? Not really, not only Russians. Actually, we're um, from a lot of places, and we have people from Estonia, Georgia, Argentina, and other places. I'm from Croatia. Um, so yeah. Um, Yeah, I see. I see. So yeah, if you just joined Hyperskill, then it's the best place to get the basics of programming to learn more about Python development. So I would really recommend you to work on this track. Uh-huh. Um, yeah, about AI tools for developers. I think that we have 3 minutes. Let's talk about AI tools for developers. If I understood you correctly, you're talking about the course where we cover the tools for AI assisted software development. So this is something that is good for practicing this skill, the one that I mentioned at the beginning. It is different from AI engineering course. So yes, these are different things. And as I mentioned, AI assisted coding development is a skill within software development expertise and in general, and AI engineering is something else. Um, Let me just check. We also have questions and answers in the section with Q&A. Yes, we already answered the question about certification. Okay, I see that there are no questions there. Yes. Is there heavy math in the course? Nikolina, is it heavy math? I don't think so.
No, not really. It's not really math heavy. It's mostly implementation. It's kind of like applied AI engineering rather than like theoretical engineering.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will answer the last question. Do you offer work experience part of the course? Um, in short, no, we don't, but the projects that you build is are very good in terms of portfolio recognition. So it's not, of course, it's not work experience, but at least it is helping some way. So you have a GitHub full of commits and full of interesting projects that show your AI engineering expertise. Yes. Um, okay. I also see, actually, I see the hand from Calvin Sanchez. Do you want to ask anything? Okay, now it's down. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining, and no worries. Thank you so much for joining. We will send you the link to the recording very soon. So yeah, thank you for attending, and I hope that I will see you among our subscribers and participants of the bootcamp. Thank you. Okay.